So, you're thinking about getting into commercial real estate. I know what you're probably thinking. I'm gonna list a $10 million property. I'm gonna make $300,000. Well, guess what? That is possible, so that's good. That is actually one of the biggest perks of commercial real estate. That's why people get interested in it. Today I'm gonna tell you about some pros and cons of commercial real estate. Obviously, bigger paychecks, bigger listings, definitely one of the pros of commercial real estate, but it doesn't come easy. We'll talk about that later. Another thing I like about commercial real estate is you get a lot more professional clients. You know, you're getting a lot of seasoned investors, business owners, things of that nature. So they're a little bit easier to work with than like a first-time home buyer. Love first-time home buyers. Message me if you want to buy a home, different story. But another thing is the long-term relationships that you can build in commercial real estate. Typically people that buy commercial real estate, they don't buy just one property unless they're just a small business. So you really have the opportunity there to make a lot of good friends, good contacts. Room for specialization is another one. I personally mostly focus on RV parks, industrial complexes, and multifamily. A lot of times commercial agents will just pick one. They'll pick industrial, they'll pick RV parks, they'll pick the multifamily, they'll pick office space, they'll just want to do leasing. I have a buddy that just does leasing only, and or you could do property management. Different can of worms there. I don't do any property management, but it's a great way to make monthly income. It's always a win. Some of the cons of commercial real estate that people don't often think about. Bigger paychecks, great, but longer deals. You'll probably look behind me that I'm walking around this property here, and we've had this property for probably about a year and a half. What we're dealing with on this one is that the city that we're dealing with here in Pasadena, Texas, they are giving us so many problems with approved usage for what can go on this property. And here in Houston, fun fact, we don't have zoning. We have ordinances. The problem with Pasadena is they have written their ordinances so loosely that they can pretty much shut down any business they want with these loose ordinances. Obviously, it's caused a lot of problems. We've had this one under contract twice now, and on paper, it met the criteria for their ordinances, but the city wouldn't grant them a usage permit, so it didn't go through. The other thing is a high barrier to entry. It's hard for me to say commercial real estate is difficult because I've been doing it for so long, but when I start to talk to someone who's green, they haven't been in it, they don't know anything about it, I really start to see that come to fruition. So it's a big knowledge aspect. It's a big learning curve. I'm not saying that you have to have an MBA, anything like that, but it is it's extensive. You got to be good with math, you got to be good with numbers, you got to learn even like legal code, even though we don't talk about legal stuff to our clients because I'm not a lawyer. Another big downside to commercial real estate is market sensitivity. So what we see with interest rates, for example, last year, commercial interest rates got up to like 10 or 11%. And when you start breaking down the numbers in commercial real estate, that was a big deal because now when you're paying all this money to your interest rate, that just eats up your profit. Basically, we call it you have your NOI, which is, you factor that into a capitalization rate. Like I said, go back to the education thing. You can message me for more information on that. But another thing that we deal with that's a little less romantic is, I mean, you can see this property that we've had it for a year and a half and it's overgrown. I mean, there's graffiti on the buildings. It's been broken into multiple times and it's not even a bad area. But when people see vacant properties like this, you just become subjected to who knows what. I mean, we've had squatters in property. Like I said, this property's been broken into, just all kinds of illicit activity. And it's, like I said, it's not due to the area, but people just see opportunity and brings out something a little crazy in them. I don't get it. I'm not a criminal, so I can't relate to that mentality, but I'll post up some photos of some of the stuff that we've been dealing with on this property. But if you're interested in getting into commercial real estate or buying commercial real estate, investing in commercial real estate, anything like that, send me a message. let's talk about it, because commercial real estate is actually a lot of fun, especially when you get going. I love industrial properties. I love RV parks. Like I said, they're one of my favorite asset classes. They're a great way to make money. They're fun to tour, fun looking at all the amenities. You can do hospitality. I mean, who doesn't want to hang out in a hotel all day? I don't know. But I don't know. Message me.